Okay, now that we've gone through how to install OpenToonz and how to install FFmpeg, how to set up our rooms, and how to customize the XSheet toolbar, let's get into the fun part where we design a character for animation. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm going to create a new project, and I'm just going to leave this default, the project root, and I'm going to call this designing Stan, and that will be our character Stan. I'm going to append, and append. Okay, and this way if we create new folders, it will know where to put our drawings and everything that we create for this project. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK, and let's create a new scene, and we'll call this Stan Rough. And these will just be the rough drawings, and I'm just going to leave everything else default, okay, and create scene. Okay, so now let's create a new level, and we're going to create a new Toonz raster level, and we will call this rough. Hit OK, and yes. Okay, now let's get in the habit of renaming our level. So this will be R for rough. Okay. And you see over here in our level palette, it created two starting brushes, color 0 and color 1. What we're going to do is set up the brush we're going to use. So let's hit this little plus sign right here, and we will name this our pencil. And we'll go down to the level palette, and under the raster tab, we're going to scroll down and find the 2B pencil right here. Okay. Okay, so right now our brush size is at 0, so let's just see if that's the size we want. Okay, I'm going to undo that. Let's bump the size up to 0.5. Okay, that feels a little bit better for me, so I'm going to undo that. Okay, so now Stan is just a simple character that we're going to use for animation, and he's about 3 heads high. So once we draw his head, we'll measure that down to the bottom of his feet 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're going to start with just a simple oval for the head. And the idea here is to think in volume. So we want to imagine the head as like an egg, okay? And so I like to draw these center lines that kind of wrap around. And that way I know where to hang things off of these lines, like the ears or the nose or the eyes can sit on that center line. And that way you can keep your character consistent from drawing to drawing or animation to animation. Okay, and so now let's add a nose. We're just going to do this little kind of muppety round ovally nose, and let's give him a little smile, and we'll draw 2 eyes. And you see how this nose, I started it right at the intersection of these 2 cross sections. Okay, and that way no matter where I turn the head, I know where to put the nose. And the same with the eyes. I'm going to sit the eyes on this center line. Okay, give him some pupils, and we'll just make some floaty eyebrows like this. And it's okay if it's not perfect. We're just practicing how to draw him and what where his features are going to go. Okay, so on the very top of his head, let's do these 2 little hairs, and that will give us some overlapping action, secondary motion, and as well as the nose, we can make it floppy or do whatever we want. And let's go ahead and do a really light line of action line down like this, and that way we can keep everything in line with this line of action. sometimes I do this line before I even start drawing, and sometimes if the character's feeling too stiff or it feels awkward, I'll go in and do a new line of action and then adjust everything to follow that line of action. Okay, so he has a little neck, and he's just got this little kind of bean-shaped body that tapers up towards the neck. Okay, and again, don't worry if it's perfect. And then here's the halfway point of his body. So just below that, I would say a third. You know, if this is halfway, 1/3 down, we're gonna do his pelvis line. Okay, and kind of like he's wearing like shorts. And then his legs will be just these little straight legs, and just do quick little feet, and you can make the feet however big you want. And his arms, we're just going to hang him down off his body like this and give him like 3 little fingers. And I'm going to do a little bit of erasing. Let me adjust my eraser down just slightly. Okay, so I'm gonna make my eraser a little bit softer. There we go. Okay, let's just erase this hand and redraw it. And I'm gonna erase those marks I made. Okay, so here's his arm and 3 little fingers, and his body comes up like that. Okay. Let's move his shoulder over. So again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just trying to figure out kind of where things attach. Okay, maybe you see the very front of that arm, just a hand over there. Okay, so this is Stan, and what I want you to do is, your first assignment is to draw Stan in different poses. And what I did is I looked up poses of Bugs Bunny and then tried to copy those or use them for reference as poses for Stan. So for example, let's say he is jumping in the air like this. Okay, do a line of action and draw his head and the center lines. Here's his nose, maybe his eyes are squinted. Here's his hair, and his mouth is like, and his arms are up like this. Okay, we're just gonna keep it loose. Okay, and maybe his body's bent, and his legs are up like this. Okay, just keep it loose. Okay, and so now let's draw another one of him looking, oh, like to the left over his shoulder. So he's turning his head like this, and oh, maybe he's squinting. He's like, what's going on over there? He's very suspicious. But his body, maybe his body is still facing this direction. Okay. This. Maybe his feet are pointing in the same direction. Okay. And maybe his other hand is up on his face, like, very suspicious of what's going on over there. Okay. Okay, and then we can move this and scale it down. Let's get a different selection tool. Let's do freehand. And we'll just stick him over here. And this guy, let's erase some of this. And I'm not even going to worry about cleaning him up, okay? This is just for practice and just to get an idea of what Stan feels like, okay? So now let's maybe do some walks. Like, let's say here's our line of action, and his head's tilted back, his eyes are closed, or maybe and his eyes are closed. Maybe they're something like this. His hair is coming back, and he's got this big smile. Okay, his little neck. This arm is, you know, maybe up like this in front of him, and this one's behind this. Body is coming up. This leg maybe is back, this front leg. Let's change his hips, the direction of his hips. Let's go down with this line. That way you can pull this leg back. And maybe this one's turned away slightly. And clean this up a little. Okay, and see, he's taller than 3 heads, but that's okay. Shrink him down. So we'll just try again over here. So now let's maybe have him looking away from us. Okay. You might see his nose, part of his eye, his hair. So this is the back of his head. Okay, maybe his hands are on his hips like this. Okay, hands are hard. I get it. I get it. Arms are hard. So we're just gonna keep trying. Okay, maybe his feet are pointing forward on this one. Okay. And let's erase his neck right there. Okay. That looks better. Okay, let's take him and shrink him down a little. If I hold shift, it uniform scales him down. Okay. And now let's have him, I don't know, maybe he's being shot off into the air. So line of action. Draw his head. Maybe his nose is dragging like this. Whoa. And he's looking out, his hair's dragging. And he's got this look. Maybe his neck comes down and his arms are like coming behind him like this. He just got shot out of a cannon. Okay. We're thinking volume, okay? Okay, and he's like, let's scale him down. Get him over here a little. And see, again, he's taller than 3 heads, but that's okay. Okay, we're just practicing. So let's do some... It's getting shot out like that. Okay, so this is just kind of a warm-up exercise, okay? And try to do a lot of these. So let me show you some examples with pencil and paper that I made. Okay, so here's some drawings of Stan I did on pencil and paper. And again, you can see the line of action and just keeping the character simple, okay? Let's look at another page of drawings that I did. Okay, here's a few more poses, and again, here's the line of action sweeping down. This is him sitting on the ground. Some poses of him maybe running or sneaking. And remember, think volume, okay? Just keep it loose, keep it simple. Okay, and so your assignment is to create 3 to 5 sheets, either digitally or pencil and paper, of Stan in different poses. And remember to keep it simple, stay loose, think volume, and most of all, have fun. Okay? And I'll see you in the next video. I'll talk to you later. Bye.